Okay, welcome. How's everybody doing? If you are here live, you can just type in the box. If you're here on the recording, I am enabling the chat question box over on the right-hand side. So if you do have a question, comment type of thing, that'll actually get delivered instantly to the support team, which is pretty cool feature. So, feel free, don't be shy, type stuff in the box. If you got a question, you want me to slow down, hopefully nothing happens when I click on share screen, but today we're going to go over a good amount of stuff. A lot of this we went over. I kind of want to do a full run through again, make sure all of the members that have gotten in early are up to speed. Nobody is falling behind. And really, that's the main purpose here, is kind of keep everybody consistent, committed, and really just making sure that you guys push forward and that this doesn't become a product that you purchase that sits on the shelf, that you really do start making $1,000 to $5 or $10 or even $15,000 a month through email marketing. So before I share my screen, let's give it about 30 seconds, see if anybody needs to get in, and then we're going to get right into some stuff. All right, so I'm going to share my screen here. Let's see, full screen share. Okay, so we should all be able to see the screen now. I'll leave it over here for a second. You should be able to see this. All right, so I'm going to kind of do a little introduction just because I know that this video may go out to more people. I'm probably going to send it out to a little bit more of the public as we are getting closer to a real launch date. So far, just to kind of catch everybody up, that so far Foolproof List has been open for about 25 days now. And the first 7-8 days, I opened up 15 spots. I actually originally opened up 10 spots. And I really only wanted 10 people in to kind of get in, create this self-hosted system. And those 10 spots filled up very quickly. I had 5 more people that wanted to get in, so I moved it up to 15, and we closed the doors down at 15. We went about 10, 15 days in, and then I said, we're ready. So we've opened up to now 40 positions total. I believe we are at 22 spots filled at currently, and a couple are like in a little reserve. People are getting some money together to get in. So we are going to 40 spots. So what are the main benefits? The first 15 people that got in, they paid a lower price. They're going to pay a lower monthly price, and they'll never, that monthly will never increase. It doesn't matter if your list is, 10,000 people or 500,000. You're never going to pay a high, an increasing monthly price, which is kind of cool because, if you do go to somewhere like Aweber or GetResponse, for example, GetResponse's pricing for leads is if you had a 50,000 person list, it costs you $250 a month. Now, if you had a 100,000 person list, it would cost you $425 a month, and that price just keeps going up the bigger the list is. So, people that got in out of the first 15, they're never have to pay more than $50. So just compare 50 to 425. You're going to see that that's just tremendous. And then anybody that's becoming the first 40 are only going to pay $80 monthly. And again, it's never going to increase. So if you are watching the video, consider that. If you are on the fence about joining, maybe take a step forward. Let me introduce myself. My name is Chris Farcher. I've been a professional internet marketer for 8 years. A lot of people that are on the call have either probably spoke with me in person, either at a live events. I've been in the top 20 different affiliate contests. I've been in VIP rooms with companies like Empower Network, GDI, many different affiliate programs. Not a huge MLMer. I do jump into some things time to time, and I promote for a few months, and then I kind of do my own thing or promote different stuff. have a foot in the door with Nadex and Forex as well. But most importantly is that with 8 years of marketing experience, for the last 4 years, I've been able to pull over $100,000 to $120,000 a year strictly from a laptop computer. I don't make an income anywhere else. This is how I support my entire family. And the goal really is to help other people learn how to make money from the computer. So, I'm really genuinely here to help. I like when people are interactive and they're serious. Honestly, it pisses me off when people get involved in things and they don't do anything and they just kind of waste their money, because that's not what I want. I don't want people to, buy a product and then not really take action or move forward. So, with that said, hopefully, you feel comfortable that I can help you really with this, which is building a list and maintaining the list, controlling your own business, and then making a serious income, from email marketing. So that's kind of about me. Um, for new people, really want to talk a little bit about autoresponder companies versus self-hosted autoresponder. So actually, let me log in to one of these self-hosted. What I'm doing here is I'm logging into a self-hosted. This is actually what we build here at FPL. And so an autoresponder company, you might be kind of on the fence, like, well, what's the difference here? Why don't I just go get Aweber or Get Response or MailChimp or GVO or any of these different autoresponder companies? And the thing is this, you can probably use them. I do. I have many, many different autoresponders, and they all have benefits and they have flaws. Now, here's the biggest flaws about having an autoresponder company like an Aweber. I'll give you an example. I had close to 100,000 person list. There's around 90,000 people inside of one of my Aweber accounts. I was making a lot of money from it. It was doing great. The opens and click rates were starting to get a little beat up because I was really selling a lot of traffic. I was doing a lot of solo ads to it, pushing offers left and right. I imported a few different lists to that. And then all of a sudden, no questions asked, account shut down, boom, it's gone. I spoke with them numerous times. I told them I was a customer for so many, for over a year with this account. I never got spam complaints, this and that. I tried everything to get the list back. They said, that's it, it's gone. So that's the scary part about using an autoresponder company like this is if you do get your list big enough, in an instant, your income could be gone. Poof, it's gone. You can't do anything about it. It's not in your control. It's in their control. That's a scary thing when you use that money to support your family or your lifestyle. Another thing is that it's really impossible to import to a lot of these different companies. You may get your leads into them, but most of the time, if you let's say that you have a 5 or 10,000 person list and you go to this company and you want to import it. Normally what's going to happen is they're going to tell you no, and that's it. Now you have a list that sits on your desktop and you can't do anything with it. So what do? So if somehow you figure out how to get your list into these autoresponder companies, and they do for some reason, maybe you negotiate or whatever, and they do allow you to import. They may only let you import a portion of it, and let's just pretend that they let you import the full, 10 or 15,000 or whatever it may be. They monitor you like a hawk. If your bounce rate is even over a certain percent, if you have even the slightest bit of spam complaints, again, they shut the account down, or they'll just strictly remove the entire list, and then you're back to square one. So those are the big things of why these other companies, yes, like they are professional, they've been around, their delivery is great. I love using them for building forums and traditional methods. There's nothing wrong with traditional, drive traffic to a page, to a capture page, collect the name and email, push them to a sales page. Now, I recommend that you do that stuff as well, but if you really want to build a big list fast and make money with it, you have to figure out a way to import, because there's just no, unless you want to sit around for a year or two, try to build a 10 to 20,000 person list, and spend maybe $30,000 to $50,000 building your list. Well, you could go over do the traditional methods. But if you want to just import, have a big list, and start making money, then you need a solution. And this is what FPL does, is it gives you that solution. Now, another major thing, because I know there's some people that were on the call that were talking about, well, what about my company? My company tells me they do everything, right? Like Empower Network there's a few people on here that are in Empower, and they say, they have an autoresponder, they have lead capture pages, and they don't know if they really can mail through their system, but some companies allow. Why don't I just use that system? Again, you're not in full control. Really, honestly, with companies like like a Genesee or an Empower or a Paycation or any of these different types of companies, MLMs, when you use their systems, almost always are your leads going into their database. Now, they may tell you they'll never mail your leads, they'll never sell your data, and I can tell you that from 8 years experience, that is complete BS. When they feel like a big promotion is ready, they will mail everybody's leads. They will sell the data, and they'll do what they need to do to make money for themselves. They're not going to care about if your feelings get upset. Okay, so when you put your leads into another person's hands, into another company's hands, you're playing the game risky. Whereas a self-hosted autoresponder, such as what we're doing here with Inspire Email Marketer, all your leads go into your own database. This is your server, this is your domain. As long as you pay the renewal fee, it's yours. No one will ever touch it. This is all your stuff. Nobody can shut you down. Nobody can just turn your account off. The only thing that can happen is that we have to do a little bit more to get our delivery rates up and basically hitting the inbox. That's the only thing that we need to do with a self-hosted autoresponder. Okay, so let's move into kind of what FPL does, just to give us a little bit more backstory, and then we will get into and we'll just keep moving this along. So FPL, right? Foolproof List. It's a new product. It's a new system that's going to be released to the public. Probably, I would say mid next month, maybe the end of the month. Obviously, we know it's a self-hosted autoresponder. So what's so cool about that? Why can't other people do that? What are the benefits, right? What are we getting here? And what we're getting is that one, Inspire is a pretty expensive program. You're getting that hooked up. You're getting that basically free. That's part of when you purchase. And what is the hardest part about it is setting this up correctly. Setting up things like SPF records, MXX records, DKIM, sender IDs, all these different little technical things that need to be in the back end, so that when you send mail, it gets delivered. When you send an email out to somebody who has a Gmail account, it has the potential of hitting the inbox. If you don't set this up properly, mail just will not reach people. That's just the way that it works. So you're kind of getting all the technical work done for you, getting it all hooked up so that you can simply, log out, log in, and all of this is built for you. Because I can tell you, when I first got Inspire, I was on the phone with support for days, being like, dude, I have no, like, I spent $500 for my first copy, and I was like, I have no idea like how to do any of this stuff. And they have all these different payment plans for support and stuff. It's kind of crazy, but so that's it. The next thing that FPL members get is you get access to a few of my lead sources, and more of them are coming. I have one source that I buy GI data from, and GI, if you want to write this down or just take a mental note, GI data is not top level domain data. So top level domains are Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, MSN, Outlook, though, the bigger names. GI data would be something like I work at home at chrisfarcher.com, a personal hosted email. So why would that stuff be cool? Well, I check my hosted domains emails all the time, because I send a lot of mail from them. Most people that have self-hosted domains and stuff like that, they check that a lot, and there's no filters. See, places like Gmail and Yahoo and all this, they've dealt with so many people trying to send mail, that they've put in so many filters to try to basically limit the amount of mail their customer gets. And with GI data, you don't have that. So GI data is pretty cool. That's coming. That's going to be a feature in here very soon. Just trying to talk people down on the price, because they everybody that sells leads, they want to sell 50 cents or $1 per lead. Obviously, I don't want you guys spending an arm and a leg to get data. I'm trying to get them to provide bigger volumes. If I buy in volumes, will they drop the price a little bit? So that's coming, GI data. And I already have pretty much, I think it's below 50 cents, may even be below 40 cents a lead already available. So that's also available. Live trainings, trying to do once or twice a week. Things just been a little bit crazy this week. I do apologize to reschedule on people the other day. My wife had we thought could be a blood clot in her leg, and then it just turned out to really be extra fluid, and just at the hospital for like 4 hours. But you're going to learn tricks, you're going to learn tips all about email marketing, how to increase open rates and click-through rates. And to me, the most important thing is that if you're serious about this, there's no way that at the end of this, between 30 and 90 days at the end of this, that you cannot make at least $1,000 a month with doing no more than 1 hour a day work, if even freaking an hour. Okay, so there's no way that cannot happen, because I've made quadruple the amount, and I'm teaching you everything start to finish. So if you're really serious about this and you want to make at least $1,000 a month, that should happen, as long as you don't get lazy. Now, I'm trying to stay on top of everybody and continually, keep people in the loop until there is like a static website and training that you guys can go into. But just stay in the loop yourself as well. Just keep pushing and get closer to your warm-up phase. All right, so a few more features would be that there's no limits. Obviously, I already kind of said that. There's no limits on leads. When you start building your list and you get your list up to 5 or 10,000, and then 20, 50,000, 100,000, you'll be able to grow your list unlimited. You're not going to have a limit on how many leads you can have. So something to take note of. I did go over this once before, but you might want a mental note or write this down as well. It's just some few terms, because they're important. If you really want to be an email marketer, you need to understand some of this stuff and be able to communicate with other people. So we're going to go over a few terms. One of them is a soft bounce. So what is, when we start sending email out, what is a soft bounce? A soft bounce is nothing more than, it's an email that didn't get delivered because maybe a full inbox, maybe internet issue. It's an email address that's not valid, but it could be just a small error. So usually something like that, you want to send out 1 to 3 times. If it fails all 3 times, then it goes into what's called a hard bounce. That's a hard bounce is a really bad email. You don't want to send to them. It hurts your reputation. Now, inside of Interspire, I already have the settings already hooked up for you that if you do send to a hard bounce email, it automatically gets suppressed. You'll never send to them again. So you don't have to do anything. It's automatically already placed in there. Same thing with soft bounce. It already allows you to try to attempt three sends to them, and then it'll turn it into a hard bounce and suppress it. So it's already built in for you. But I just want you to know this way, if people are asking and talking about different things, you know how to communicate. Cleaning service, right? So at the bottom of the page here, there's our team cleaning service. Let's see if the page will open up. We're using Listwise here. I am looking at a couple other things just to give us options, but I've always used Listwise. I like them. It's pretty cheap pricing for to clean leads. Now, why do we need to clean leads? Is because if you have lists that have been sitting around for 4 months or 5 months, a lot of times email addresses get closed. They become bounces. They become hard bounces. If you're scraping leads, you're using scrapers that scrape thousands of leads. I don't always recommend that, because you're usually going to pull a lot of junk leads. But if you are scraping, you're going to pull what's called honeypots and spam traps. This is when, a Gmail or Yahoo, they create fake emails. They place them in the internet, almost like landmines. You come around with your machine and scrape them, you send to them, and then they know that you're basically scraping and spamming. So when you use a list cleaning service, what's going to happen is that they are basically going to find all the soft bounces, hard bounces, spam traps, honeypots, duplicates. They're going to remove all that, and they're going to take your, they're going to take your list and give you a clean version back. Now, you guys do what you want, but I'm highly recommending that if you do something like $54 one time to clean 10,000, or maybe $100 to clean 50,000 leads. I think it's more than worth it. You're going to save yourself a headache down the road. Now, if you do buy leads from basically us, you won't have to use the cleaning service on it. I will already have pre-cleaned them. We've had quite a few people buy, between 500 and 20,000 leads. I will clean the leads for you. You won't have to clean them. I will make sure that you get a full clean list. Now, if you did come in originally, what happened? I think there was 9 or 10 people originally that, I kind of made an offer where you spend $100, you got, you get 1,000 or 1,500 leads. Now, some of you guys have cleaned those leads. Usually 800 or 900 are coming back clean, and then some of them are not. Just message me, and I will hook you up. I'll make sure that you guys are up to the 1,000 or the 1,005, all clean, and that you're squared away. So just message me on that, and I'll make sure that you're good. All right, so we know what honeypots are now. We know what spam traps are. And then the only really other thing to kind of look at would be opens and clicks, right? So when you send out an email, how many people open the email, how many of those people open and then click a link inside of it. That's really it, right? So those are the terms, very simple. Now let's talk about the steps. I want to go over that if you become a member, or if you are a member, what are the steps that you should be taking, right? So step one, right? You've just got done paying. Now it usually takes me between 1 day to 2 or 3 to get your server hooked up. So once you get your login, right, you can log in. I'll log out and log back in so you can see it. You'll be able to go to your server. You can log in. I do recommend changing your password and your username. This way, you're not using a temporary, and you can make it something personal. If you got leads from us, just double, just if you got leads already from us, like I said, actually I already said this, I'm not going to say it again, but if you got leads from us, and you're waiting for them, just just get prepared. Go in here. You don't really need to do much in here yet, but the only things that you want to look at, let's see here. Actually, you know what? This is what you would do. After you can log in, you're gonna look at your leads. If you have 0 leads, well, you're probably gonna need to buy some leads, right? I recommend that you guys get up to at least 3,000 leads so you guys can properly do the warm-up phase. I made a 3,000 lead breakdown. Now, I do think this is low. You really should try to get between 5,000 and 6,000. And then that's it. I have a technique and a method for us to do. When you get to 3, 5, or 6,000 leads, whatever it may be, what we're going to do is I'm going to let you in on a few reputable sources, and you're going to be able to trade and swap with these people. So you're going to be able to take your 6,000 person list, right? And then you're going to be able to trade it with a reputable source, somebody who doesn't trade and swap all the time. So your 6 is going to jump to 12. And then you're going to potentially maybe do one more trade, and it's going to go from 12 to 24,000. So you're going to pay. So maybe you had to pay to get to 6,000 leads, but you're going to get all the way up to 24,000 without paying. Obviously, the more leads you have, the bigger the swap. So imagine you had 20,000, you do 2 swaps, you're up to 60,000 person list. So the second step, first step, log in. Second step, make sure you have some leads so that you guys can get prepared. if they're leads that you haven't purchased from us, make sure they go through the cleaning service and that you're eliminating all these potential spam and bounces prior to sending. Let's see here. All right, so the next step would be this. Now, I already made a video on it, so I'm not going to go and do this whole thing again. But one of the only technical part in this, and it's early, I may figure out a way to actually build this for everybody. But for now, there is a video that shows you how to make which is going to help you monitor your spam complaints. Okay, so when you have a self-hosted, or actually when you have any autoresponder and you send mail, the only way that you can kind of get yourself in trouble or so that mail doesn't reach your customers is if you get a lot of spam complaints. And there's really not much you can do about that, especially if you're buying lists to monitor other than this method here, which is to kind of create a spam, a report spam abuse link, and we're going to create this form. We're going to put it at the bottom of our email. This way that people that want to complain, well, we're giving them an area to complain. The only thing is that when they complain, they're not really complaining to an ISP. They're complaining to us, so they're going to complain, and that's going to, shoot us up a notification, and we're going to be able to copy those emails and go suppress them inside of Interspire so that we never send email to them again. And they're basically, we're basically finding the worst of the worst without getting a negative mark on our account, right? So if you haven't watched the video, there is a replay video. It's in the Facebook group as well, and I go through the whole thing. I literally build it for you, and this stuff will, again, I'm seeing if there's a way I can build it to take this technical part out. But for now, there's one technical part, and it's going to save you tremendously. So just do it. It's going to take you maybe 15-20 minutes one time. Once it's built, it's there forever, and then you're done. Right? So this is what the form looks like. Somebody comes in, they want to complain, right? So they go to complain, they put their email in here, they click submit. Report spam abuse. Your spam abuse complaint has been recorded and will no longer receive emails from this individual. And then what happens is that you can see here the number changed from 6 to 7. Okay, and you can see here it shows us the names of people that were complaining. We would just come in here, copy the list. We go into Interspire. And there is a suppress an email or domain. Go in here. I want to type in. Boom. Save. Those people will never get email again, and they are unsubscribed from our list. And that is, one of the tricky methods that's going to help us monitor spam complaints, right? So, again, watch that video. I'm not going to go through all of that right now. After we've done that, right, so now we can log in Interspire. We have either purchased leads or we have our own leads. If they're your own leads, you're going to scrub the list. We're going to clean the list. We're going to build the spam complaint form, right? And then after that, we're ready to get started, right? We're gonna follow, depending on how many leads we have. If you have 25,000 or above, or you can follow this if you're about 6 to 10,000. You could follow this. I'd probably say you have to be a little bit over 6, maybe 8 to 25,000. You're good to follow this, which tells us that we need 7 CSV files, right? So how do we do this? Now, this training is coming. I'm going to make a static video, like I said. Tomorrow, my wife will probably do it. She does a lot of the CSV work. I kind of show her what I need, and then she's very savvy with Open Office and Excel. So she's going to do a full training on this. But what do we need to do, right? So it says we need CSV number 1 needs 1,000 leads in it too, total. CSV number 2 needs a 2,000 total. CSV 3, 4,000, and so on, right? So CSV1 should have 1,000 leads in it total, and it says 200 each from the different ISPs. So what are the ISPs? Hotmail Live, Yahoo, Gmail, MSN, AOL, and other. That's everything else, right? So you're going to have 200 Gmails, you're going to have 200 Yahoo, 200 Hotmail, 200 MSN, 200 other. That's going to equal out 1,000. Now, guys, if you're short a little bit, it's okay. This isn't a set plan. This is as close as it gets, though. So you don't have to have exactly 200. If you had 175, that's still good. Or if you had 250, it's all right. You don't have to be exact, but just try to keep it close. Obviously, if you have a lower list, 3,000 leads, maybe 6,000 and below, follow this plan. You're gonna need 9 CSV files. They're gonna be smaller. CSV1, you're gonna need 200 total. CSV2, you're gonna need 300 total, and so on, right? Same deal, 40 ISP, 60, 80, 120. You break up your CSV file. So your desktop should show you 7 to 9 CSV files, depending on which one you're following, right? All right, so once we know how to segment our list, and we take these 25,000 person lists and we segment them into 7 different files, now is where it's where we're actually going to get started, right? So now we're getting moving with the system. And what we need to do is, first we need to create a contact list. So the list name, is for your own reference, but what I would try to do is something like a day one list 1,000, right? So I already actually made this list in one of the other demos, but something that's going to let us know how many leads are in it, which day we used it for, because down the road we might want to use this again, but we want to know what it's about, right? So the owner's name, obviously, I'm in Marlon's account again, so you just use your own name. You guys can leave this the same. You don't have to change anything. The only thing that you could change, just to make it a little bit more professional, is this. You could change this from saying user, and it could say something like Marlon, right? It's just to make it so it looks a little bit more professional. Same thing right here. We could change this. That's it. Leave everything else the same. You don't need to touch anything. This is already pre-done for you. You don't have to touch it. Leave it alone. You do not have to do this. You can if you want. If you have your own, you want to put your company name and address and all that, you can do that. You don't have to do it. You can ignore it. And all of this is already preset for you. We're done. Just click save. That's gonna be confusing because I got 2 of these lists now. All right, so now we've created a contact list. So the next thing to do is to import a list, right? So now we got to go over to contacts. Going to go over to import contacts from a file right here. We're going to pick the list that we want, right? So we just made this one, day one list. So we're going to import into here, right? It says it's got 0 active contacts as of right now. We're going to click next. This is just if you had duplicates. I usually click that, yes, and then I leave that alone. Does your file contain headers? Mine usually do. Let me see if I can find one on here. Let's see what this one is. Okay, so this is the header row, right? It says email address and name, right? So it says, does your file contain a header? Yes, mine does, and this basically ignores it. The only times you have to change something is sometimes it doesn't work if this says a comma, sometimes it's a semicolon. That's the only thing here that sometimes your file won't load up right. Let me actually do this. This one's way too big. That's got a lot of leads in it. Let me just put one of these down here. We're going to load in a list, right? So 1,500 leads. Click next. email address, name, email address, start importing. So you can see here two things actually happen. There's a lot of leads that are going in, and there's leads that didn't go in. It says 224 lines are bad. So this would be something that I would have to, basically look at and see why. Maybe I messed something up. Maybe something wasn't formatted. You can see here, though, 1,278 contacts were imported successfully. I don't really know why those went bad. I'd have to check the CSV file. But now we have, let's view our contact list. There it is, right? So we got 1,278 leads. They're loaded in. They're ready to go. And we're going to follow this. We're going to do that for each file, right? If I was to do this like I'm getting ready for the warm-up phase, I should have 7 contact lists importing 7 different files. That one had that one actually went over, but CSV number 2 would have 2,000. CSV number 3, contact list number 3 would have 4, then 6, 2, 4, 6, right? I'm not going to do that all right now, but what would happen is I'm going to have all of these different lists, and now it's time to get ready to mail, right? So now we have to start sending mail. So we go over to email campaigns. We are going to create a new email campaign. You can leave this blank. You have to put a name for it, right? So day 1. This is just for your reference. Okay, so this is what your leads are going to see, the email subject line, right? So anything usually curiosity, excitement, things simple, you don't have to go crazy. They can be stuff like, hey, first name, right? Hey, Chris, are you online? Hey, what's going on? Things that are just generic that you would send to your best friend usually get the most open rates, right? So we're going to type in something. I'm going to go over, actually. I keep feeling like I should prep so my mind is ready, but I have I'm going to look at a lot of the things I do, because usually before I write an email, I take about 10 to 20 minutes. I'll write a headline, I'll write out the whole email, and then I'll go through my email and I'll find kind of what I'm talking about, and that's how I usually create my headline, so it matches up and it's congruent. And that's just the way that I do it. But like I said, so it doesn't have to be anything crazy, right? So it's a question: hey, you online? Hey, are you on now? Right? Because if you get that in your inbox, hey, are you on now? You're gonna be, well, yeah, or yeah, what's up, right? Kind of be curious to see what they're talking about, right? So now we're gonna write our email. Inside of our email, there's this little button down here that says dynamic content. Right? Insert a custom field if your list has names and emails. You need your list to have names. If it doesn't, then don't use this, because it'll be a blank space if you just have emails. But this would use a name, right? So if somebody's sending this to me, it would say Chris. So what I would do is usually try to match it up, right? So are you on now? Hopefully you're online now. And now when you're writing, there's kind of a debate, right? Some people like to make it really short, each line, like hopefully you're online now. I personally like to extend it a little bit longer. The theory is that if your eyes have to kind of move too far to the right, you'll get lazy and you won't read the next line. Another trick would be is that when you end your sentence before you go to the next line, you would want to really, actually, I already messed up on this. See, what I would do is I usually write it out and then I'll figure it out where I want to make the chop. But what you want to do is you want to find something like this, right? Hopefully you're online now. I've been looking at something. See, it says you're looking at something, and it almost creates curiosity again to get you to the next line, right? So you've been looking at something. So the person thinking, well, what's he been looking at, right? So hopefully you're online now. I've been looking at something on the internet. exciting, but I wanted your opinion, right? So again, I ended, I wanted your, what did he want? Kind of leave that space there. I wanted, kind of get you to the next line, right? And we would continue on with this email. Now, with the warm-up phase, right, day 1 to 3, I would say no links at all. So this is probably not the best example for the first couple emails here, but because this one I would definitely lead it into a link. But your first couple emails here, no link at all. I would rather have you say something like this. Maybe I can do it on the spot. Hopefully you're online now. If you're looking at something on the internet, it's pretty exciting, but I wanted your opinion. If you're on Facebook, you could send me well, this would probably be towards the end, right? So we got to talk about, what we're looking at. A friend of mine showed me a company that has a product. Plan. Normally I ignore stuff, but honestly, it looks really good. Not in yet, but needed to have you take a look and let me know. Do apologize if I'm boring you here on this part, but I know some people have been wanting to see how an email is created. So let me just go over this again. Chris, hopefully you're online now. I've been looking at something on the internet that's pretty exciting, but I wanted your opinion. A good friend of mine showed me this company that has this unique product and compensation plan. Normally I ignore this type of stuff, but honestly it looked really good. Not in yet. I like to break it up, right? So another thing to do is like 3 lines, 1 line. It keeps it, because a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll skim and they'll see this, right? So you can break it up. I figured I'd have you take a look and let me know what you were thinking. If you're on Facebook, maybe, right? So you're gonna leave that kind of curiosity. Maybe what? Maybe you could send me a friend request and we could go over the talk. And okay, so something simple like that. Obviously, I'm doing this on the spot here, but this is a no linked email. Maybe reply with your something like that, right? So you want to send a link. You don't want to put a link in here. Obviously, you need to get his Facebook profile, but this is one of these things where you get 20 replies back. You friend request them in, and then you talk to them through instant message. Just a note, this is probably one I wouldn't do it on, but a lot of people pay attention to the PS. You can put in a PS. I'll do something like PS. The price, and here's the link. Then I may even do like PPS. So those are 2 things that you want to add in your emails when you get into sending links and trying to convert. Those will help your conversions. But that's it, right? So we write out our email. We're just going to press, let's see, we don't need really any of this stuff. No. You could check your email for spam keywords if you want. You don't really need any of this stuff. But that's it, right? Save and exit. All right, so our campaign is created, And that's it. We're going to start sending. If I press the send button, it's going to ask me which list to send it to, and we're gonna begin. Now, do not start your 25-day warm-up phase until you have your CSV files all configured. They're ready to go, right? And we're going to follow this list. Day 1, we send to 1,000 people. Day 2, we send to 2,000. Day 3, 4. We're not going to say, hey, I got lazy on day 3. Can I skip it around? I don't want you doing that. You're going to stay consistent because you're going to tell yourself, look, I'm here to make money. Chris is helping me do this. I'm going to stay on a track for 25 days. And because I do that, I have the potential to make $1,000 to $15,000 a month. Okay. So that's what you're going to keep telling yourself. And you're going to do it the right way and not get lazy in here. Okay. I mean, if you do miss a day, obviously it's not the end of the world, but I don't want you to, screw this whole thing up because it's important. This is what warms places like Gmail and Yahoo and MSN to your server. They see 200 emails, they see 400, they see 800, they see 1,200. This is a realistic approach, and they will slowly, in the beginning, they may not accept mail, but when you get down to here, they'll start accepting it because they've been getting it so consistently that they're going to start saying, okay, our customers, Gmail and Yahoo, they need to be getting these emails. Let's slowly start letting them in and see how people do with them. So that's the game plan, and that's really it. That's all that we're doing here. That's the process. Now, I guess it may seem long and lengthy, but it really isn't. Once you get your server, you get your leads, you segment them, and you start. I mean, realistically, once you get your leads, I mean, you could be rocking and rolling. So we've been open 24, 25 days. If you're in here and you're not up to this point, I'm going to ask you why, right? We do not have the website yet for step-by-step training, but you guys should be here. This is where you should be. And you should be trying to get through this process because once you do, your system works. And then we can really get into email marketing. That's where we can start. Like obviously when you get down here, you can be putting links in. But this is kind of like this is like the pregame. You don't want to be too spammy in here because you're not trying to make money yet. Really what you're doing is trying to make sure your server works. Obviously you can promote something. I'm not saying that you can't, and I'm not saying that's even bad. A lot of people will be interested, but if you're hitting a cold list, they don't know you. You purchase leads, and then you're just hitting them, trying to get them to buy your offer. It's not the best approach. You really want to entertain, show them interesting things. If you're going to promote something, talk about the company. Not talk about the company because it's kind of boring, but you're going to talk about people. Talk about somebody in the company that's an amazing story, right? Somebody, hey, like this guy, he was living in his van, and all of a sudden he's making 25,000 a month. I'm not saying get in. I just thought it was a cool story. I hope it's motivating. God bless. Be you know what I mean. Be a person. Don't just try to pitch them every day. And that's how you write your emails through this process. So hopefully all of that does make sense. You can see the process really isn't hard. And so here's what's coming, right? So what's coming with FPL at this point? Well, we have the main sites being built. Logos, videos, all that stuff is being built. You will have access to all of it. You'll be able to, I will have an affiliate program inside of here. You guys can actually promote at this time. So I wasn't going to really let people promote until I've personally filled all 40 spots. I know I had like 3 or 4 people being like, hey, I got somebody interested. And I was like, hey, I'm going to just hold off. But let's just get moving. If you want to refer people to FPL, you get 50%. So, right now it's $2.99 to get in. So you would make $150 commission up front. It's $80 a month, so you make $40 recurring commission. And then once we get through 40 people, that the deal is off the table. I'm not 100% on the price yet. I'm either going to keep it at $2.99, but then I'm going to make it it's going to be a tiered plan. So if somebody has 50,000 leads, they may pay $100 a month. If they have 250,000, they may pay a little bit more. Bad news is that the pricing goes up a little bit. Good news is that it'll be, well beyond any other autoresponder pricing. And two, as an affiliate, you can make some serious residual commission, right? So every month you could be picking up $1,000 or $2,000 just from residuals. And if somebody has a list that big, well, they should be happy and sticking around because they should be making 1,000 to 15,000 a month through their own list. There's no reason to cancel an autoresponder. I'm happily when I pay my autoresponder bills and I pay AWeber 200 and something dollars. I have no problem doing that because I send out one email and I bring back 1,500. Now, I've had some questions, Chris. If you make all this crazy money when you email, why aren't you living on the beach, right? Well, here's the thing with email marketing. You can make a lot of money, but if you do it the wrong way or consistently do it the wrong way, you burn up the list. And then it costs money to buy lists and get back into it. And I've made a lot of money through email marketing, but I do it a different way now. So I promoted the April 14th, 15th, 16th, and the 17th. I promoted hard for one of my partners' companies and brought in about $5,000 to $6,000 in those 4 days. Now I'm not going to keep hammering the lists about that offer because what'll happen is they'll get numb to it. Some will get pissed at me for it. 4 days is something where it's like, okay, that's what he's promoting, and then I'm gone, right? And then I promote and I give value, or I give something entertaining or funny, or I just don't mail at all, right? I leave you alone for a little bit. And then when I promote again heavy, probably the next thing I promote will be FPL when I promote it to the list, and I'll promote hard for a good 7 to 14 days. So that's the way that I do it. You don't have to follow that at all. I've done many different things. Selling traffic is actually one thing that I'm very good at. It seems kind of funny to say you're good at selling traffic, but it is a technique and a skill. And that's one thing that I'm going to be offering here too as well. That anybody that cannot make money through their biz op, they're not good at recruiting people. They're not good, because that is a skill as well. It's not always your list that reason that you can't get signups. It's the fact that there is a lot to do to be a good affiliate MLM marketer. There's a lot to do, and sometimes it's just easier to say, what, screw trying to be the king of the MLM. I have a list. I can deliver traffic to somebody else's website, and they'll pay you for it. So I am going to have a whole little course that's included here that talks and shows you everything about selling traffic to help you make money. But again, rambling. So let me get back to it. So here's one of the pages most likely that will be on capture page, right? So you have capture pages. And some of these are probably going to get tweaked a little bit. I'm still in the process of building them all. But, main sales pages. I have custom images coming in. I have videos being made. Right? So websites are being built. I know some of you guys have talked to you guys have participated in the building of the site, which is cool. Professional checkout pages, all kinds of cool stuff coming. Thank you pages that are going to have all of the information for any customer that either you bring, I bring, or whoever brings to the game here. There will be, again, within probably the next 30 days, there'll be a full members area. You can log in. There'll be static websites that has the training. There'll be very, it won't be like this, that, an hour long or an hour and a half long webinar that has kind of a little bit of everything. It'll be, a 3-minute video that says, hey, you guys can log in. This is how you do it. So it'll be very step by step, keep you right on track type of stuff. Maybe 1 to 8 videos that bring you right down the line to getting you through the warm-up phase to mailing and understanding how to make money with your self-hosted autoresponder. So that's what I got here. Let me see if I'm missing anything. I did take a little bit of notes for myself. Let me see. Okay, so yeah, the last thing was really just about the affiliate stuff. If you do want to promote to anybody, if you have people that are interested, all you got to do is just message me, say, hey, I got somebody that that might want to get in or join up with all of us, and just mark it down, and then once they pay, I'll pay you. I don't have affiliate links just yet. It will be built very soon. If you've been in and you're coming up on your 30 days, I do got to send you a link to make sure that your server is going to continue to run next month. So, for the first 15 people was $50 a month. Everybody else, $80 a month. And then, after 40, that'll be announced and put up on the website. So let me stop this. Ask if anybody has any questions. I'm going to hang around for a little bit. Hopefully everybody could hear me. I know there's not too many people on today, and a lot of people are getting the replay link. But if no questions, tomorrow again, Excel training will be in place for you so that you can follow the Excel, how to segment the list. And so if that's, that's I know that that's one missing piece. One solution for that, if you want, you could go to Google, you could download OpenOffice. It is free, and then you could follow the other video training. If you don't want to do that, because it is kind of like the crappier version of Excel, you can just wait. Tomorrow should have the whole training, show you everything. Yep, and then so tomorrow you'll have that video, and then you'll be able to segment that list and be able to do that. No, Dan, if the list that I sent everybody, unless you purchased a bigger package, right? So some people, purchased 10,000 leads or 20,000 leads or 5,000 leads. Those leads I cleaned up already, and I sent those out to them, to whoever ordered them. Those do not need to go through the cleaner. They can go. Those still need to be segmented and then loaded in. The leads that most likely you're talking about, which is the 1,000 leads. I'm pretty sure I sent everybody around 1,004. Those needed to go through the cleaner. Most people are coming back between 700 and 900 clean. And with those, after they're clean, you're gonna still segment them, and then you got to put them into you have to put them into Interspire just the way that I showed you with the contact list, and then importing them. Yeah, Christina, it's not going to be a record. It's not going to be a webinar. What I'm going to do is my wife's going to do like a 3 to 5 minute training just on Excel and CSV files. So, there already is one out there right now. I've already sent that to you guys, but it's strictly OpenOffice. Now, there's not too much difference, but I have had like 2 or 3 people say that they're kind of stuck. They don't know how to, some of the stuff with like kind of moving it over to new files. I guess the search feature is a little different. So things are just a little bit different. So, the training will help to kind of just clear that up. And this way, you'll have a training on Excel, and you'll have a training on OpenOffice. So once the video is done, I'll be able to send the link over to you. But stuff like Excel. I mean, if you're raring to go and you don't want to wait till tomorrow, you could technically go to YouTube, just type in like Excel, or a training on it, and I'm sure there's tons of videos um, on it. Yeah, I recorded this. This is a full training, a full recording. Um, I'm going to send this out to everybody. A lot of people had to miss today. It's Friday night. I was supposed to do it yesterday because I know everybody wants to, everybody's living for the weekend. I'm sure you don't want to be sitting on a webinar, but um, this is recorded. And once this is over, you should actually get an email with the recording. I'm going to copy the link and I'll send it out to all the paid members as well. All right, so if there's no other questions, we're going to be all done here. And we are coming up on our first 30 days of FPL being open in the soft launch phase. The next 30 days is very important to the one thing I actually didn't mention too is the next 30 days for everybody. Once you can show me, because I actually want everybody to start showing me that they're in the warm-up phase. Once you start showing me that you're really doing this and taking action, I'm going to open up that source that we can do a trade or a swap. So, if you do have that 5,000 or 6,000 person list, you can trade and swap and get up to 12 and 24,000. So that's a big piece of this puzzle. I guess if somebody was really complaining they want to do it anyways, I'd let them. But I really only want to work with people that are moving forward and taking some serious action. So, just stay focused on getting these lists segmented, get them into play, and start mailing so that you can keep moving forward within the next 30 days. But so we have went over everything. I don't see any other questions, so I'm going to end it here, guys. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate everything. And as always, I'm around, so just email me or hit me up on Facebook. Comes to my phone and stuff. So I will try to answer any of the questions you guys have, and I will see you on the next one.